Well, I'm sure you, like us in the studio, are just sitting there, well, listening to the radio, thinking, how on earth do they come up with a song like that? Really?
How good is it?
It is just
And it has
extraordinary, and it hasn't aged.
stood the test of time. Look, the reason we're playing it is, and we should introduce our guest. We have Toby Walsh with us, who is Scientia Professor of Artificial Intelligence at the University of New South Wales. He's a researcher in artificial intelligence globally.
And he's listening in Luxembourg.
And that's
Hello,
right.
Toby.
Hi, Toby.
And in the studio, humming along to that song is Justin Shave, who is one of Australia's preeminent music producers and musical directors, and he has worked on some very big songs, let's put it that way.
Well, the reason that we were playing yesterday, fellas, is because in this brand new movie, Yesterday, which opened last night here in Australia, the scenario is this. There is a sort of a freakish wrinkle in time, and the whole world has a case of amnesia. All memory of Coca-Cola and cigarettes has been erased, and so have the Beatles.
So
poor old Justin, shocked at this, aren't you, Justin?
Yeah. But I guess, look, this goes to the heart of what we're about to talk about is, can computers ever replace the brilliance of a great songwriting partnership like that? Justin?
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
I've thought about it a lot in my life.
Yeah.
Replace, I think, is the wrong word.
Okay.
Augment, I think, is a better word.
Is it?
We can use these computers to
Because when you hear that, though, you hear such emotion coming through in that song. There's a melancholy within it that you have to think, well, could a computer ever get anywhere near it?
Well, a computer would have had to have fallen in love to
That's
write
right.
that.
The computer has to feel emotion. You have to teach the computer to feel emotion,
Can you do that, though?
or to understand the things in that melody, in that song, the way the chords move, the way the lyrics work, and to understand what emotions that sort of are imbued within those lyrics.
Okay, well, let's talk about what's happening on Tuesday. Sydney's City Recital Hall, together with Inspiring Australia, are putting on a free lunchtime series called This Sounds Like Science. And one of the sessions is called Music by Robots, featuring artificial intelligence professor Toby Walsh, who we got there, and Justin, who I guess is very closely involved in this. And together with musicians Justin and Charlton Hill from music technology company Uncanny Valley, they are going to be testing your reception and your ability to detect what is made by computers and what isn't made by computers. Let's go to Toby in Luxembourg. Where are we at when it comes to artificial intelligence and their capacity to create beauty?
We have got computers that can write music and that can write poems and do other creative acts. But as you question, it's not clear, and we're still working out whether it's going to be as meaningful as the things that humans make. But I think they can augment our ability. They can allow us to do things that we couldn't do without them. We're tool makers at the end of the day. We've always used tools, and here's another tool that can help us.
What do you think, Justin?
Well, Toby's right. Yeah, the computers have been a part of the music creation process since the 80s, I guess. We've grown up with doing that. You know, in fact, it wouldn't be a piece of music. Very rare you'd hear a piece of music today that hasn't been touched by some kind of computer.
But Justin, the idea of computers surely is that they are supposed to be the ones that the human tool that does all the repetitive, boring business, and they leave the creative stuff up to us. And now they're muscling in on that as well.
What's going to be left for us to do?
That's what is going to be left for us to do. Why is this an area of endeavour that you're interested in? What interests you about it?
Well, it does interest me because it's not something that's going to replace human composers. I think it's more about helping us be more creative
And how will they do that?
By taking the seeds that we give them and then perhaps coming up with something and understanding it in a way that we wouldn't, or a way that it's programmed or beyond the way that we would normally think, and then perhaps spitting back an idea that would spark our creativity in some direction.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
That's the way I've always liked to.
Toby, do you agree?
Yeah, totally. I mean, this very question, can computers ever be creative, is one that's haunted the field. Actually, before we had computers, Ada Lovelace, who worked alongside Babbage, who was trying to develop the first mechanical computer in the 19th century, actually asked this very question. She said, computers only follow instructions, so how could they ever be creative? But, there are things that you can do, tricks you can do, teach yourself to be more creative. Those are the sort of things we give computers. But at the end of the day, as you've already said, a computer's never going to fall in love. It's never going to die. It's never going to have those human emotions. So it's not obvious to me whether it really will ever make art in the way that really speaks to us, the way that humans do.
Okay, let's take us, if you would, to this bark challenge. What have you got for us? What have you got for us? You're going to try and stump us, are you, Justin?
We'll see. There's two pieces of music here, each played by a computer, but one, just to level the playing field a little bit, one is real bark and one is bark written by a computer.
Okay.
And
all
so,
right.
how did you inform the computer about this?
I tried out a neural net run by a site called MuseNet.
Hey, stop there. You checked out a neural net?
Yes.
Which is what?
It's basically a piece of software that imitates the brain, the way you would think or come up with ideas inside a computer, and it puts it inside a computer. Yeah. And the more information you feed into it, it learns that information, and then it finds patterns within that information that perhaps you wouldn't, or similarities within things you feed it.
And so, you piled all this in and then stood back.
All the works of Bach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one bit is Bach and the other bit is written by a computer, and you're not going to tell us which one is which.
Digi-Bach.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right.
Does the Bach computer have a name?
Let's just call him Digi-Bach.
Okay,
yeah.
Digi-Bach. All right. Okay, here is the first piece of music. Listen closely. Okay, that's the first piece of music. By the way, if you want to give us a call and have a go at picking this, 1300 222 702, let's have a listen to the second piece. All right, we're going to take a caller who's going to put their theory before I put my theory forward. I've got my theory here. Toby, you know the answer to this, I take it.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll ask you second, I think. Who have we got there on the phone? We've got. Is it Brendan?
Yeah.
Stephen, thank you very much. Here's Brendan. Morning, Brendan.
Point Piper, hi.
Hi there. Which one do you think is? Which one do you think is the original Bach and which is the computer?
I think the original Bach was the second one.
Oh, do you? Okay. I thought it was the first one, actually. Toby, what about you?
I'd go the original Bach was the first one as well.
Yeah, okay. Drum roll, please.
Yes, it sounded to me like the second piece there, the old computer was having a bit of a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, so you Okay, so let's have a listen.
Bach.
So this is I'm going for this one being from Bach. And this is the computer. Justin Shave is with us. He's a long-term Australian producer. Are you mucking with us, Justin?
Look, it's a tough choice.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure
Come
this
on.
out.
There's a slightly different tone there. I must say the second piece sounds a little bit more tinny.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So-
I did choose sounds that were a little bit computery in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are we right?
the AI actually composed number one.
Oh, we're
see,
all wrong.
Yeah.
Get out.
Gang.
And
You were right, Brendan, by the way. Well done.
Yeah.
the when you compose Bach, there's you got to know when to make the rules and when to break the rules. I think that's what Bach did very nicely. But with the first one, the rules are very exact. They're very, he's gone. It's gone there and thought he's worked out the rules. It's gone. These are the exact things. In the second one, Bach's especially towards the end of it, he's sort of taken it and just tweaked it a little bit. And,
okay.
You're
just being really sneaky. That's what you are. You are being really sneaky. Somebody, Deb on the text line saying, its bark is worse than its bite. BYTE.
Very good. What do you think that the lovers of music, traditional lovers of music are going to make of this all, Toby? I mean, are people going to be sitting there thinking, oh, why? Are we bothering with this? Or are they going to really find something that's going to be affect them, and be lyrical and touch us in the way that human-made music can?
Well, we will see. I mean, it goes to the heart of us at the end of the day. What can machines do and what can only humans do? And how much that we can augment ourselves, how much that the machines can replace us. I think these are really deep and profound questions that we have to start asking as machines do more and more stuff in our lives.
And what happens if they start doing things better than all of us? Toby?
We've got a long way to go before machines match all of our abilities, but they don't have our emotional intelligence yet, our social intelligence, and they have limited creativity to us. It's interesting to think, well, how far will they get in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years? It's going to be a while yet before they do match us in all of those abilities.
Do you think the stand-up comedians are safe for a while, Toby?
Well, there are stand-up comedians that are computers. They're not quite as funny as the real ones yet.
I should hope not. Well, thanks for joining us today, Toby. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks for joining us from Luxembourg. Toby Walsh.
Yeah, who is a
professor of artificial intelligence at the University of New South Wales.
And Justin Shave as well, who is a producer. If you're wondering what Justin's done, by the way, if you know pop musicians like Sia. He's produced for her, also Darren Hayes. He's also tweaked with Elton John's music. All the hits.
And you've worked for us as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everyone will know this. This is our ABC ident, as we call it, yeah?
Here it is.
We are one, but we are many, and from all
So you produced this, did you? Wow.
on earth we come, we share a dream.
And your
And our ad.
and no, your little tune we hear every morning. The
Did you? Are you responsible for that, eh?
Yeah, mate.
You're hilarious. Just before we let
Can we
you...
have a new one, please?
Yeah. Actually, we do need a new one. Hey, not that the other one's bad. We just listen to it every morning.
Bit sick of that one.
Just before I let you go, this is what happens when you put put an artificial intelligence program computer onto writing Christmas carols.
Holly bells up, all be jolly. Santa Claus is coming to little Lord Moses. Hark, the heralds of Iggy Pee. Santa's on his way.
It sounds like my old nana after a big Christmas day and a few too many
I
sherries.
say, yeah, too much eggnog for that computer, I think.
It's the most calls of snow. Wish you a merry hey, Santa Claus.
Wow.
Did I hear that Santa Claus is coming to little Lord Moses?
yes, that's the name of the song.
So that's that's a AI just taking all the Christmas
We
carols.
took all the Christmas carols, Robbie, all of
Yeah,
them. All of them,
wow.
about 80 of them, put them into
Crikey.
all the lyrics in and all the music and melodies, and that's what it spat out in the end.
What an extraordinary man you are. Tuesday is the session. It's free. Do you have to book beforehand, Justin?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
No.
all right.
Okay.
It's at the. I know it's free. Do you have to book beforehand though, Stephen? That's what I was asking. It's free. It's on at the City Recital Hall on Tuesday. Hey, Justin, great pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank
Cheers.
you, Wendy.
Thank you so much. That was very interesting.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. You tricky
Yeah.
person.
Unfortunately, Tony Matthews couldn't turn up this morning, but we did manage to find an AI sim instead, so she will be reading the news for you today. Over to you, Tony.
Thanks, Wendy and Robbie. The Foreign Affairs Department is urging